Now on CoastTV News.
Short-term renters do cause problems at times, right?
Rental rules. Ocean City now debating 3 options for how to regulate these properties. A new Millsboro police chief, his vision for the growing community. Paw on patrol, the Laurel Police Department raising money for more furry friends on the force.
Very unwelcoming wind chills as we drop back to 15 in some areas.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
The future of short-term rentals will be up for discussion by the Ocean City Council. Good evening, I'm Emma Aiken, in for Christina DiRobertis tonight. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight with the Ocean City Council preparing to discuss short-term rentals in town. While many vacationers still choose hotels, others are opting for short-term rental homes instead. That shift has sparked an ongoing debate over whether these rentals should be allowed in certain residential neighborhoods. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappe shows us what options council members will consider.
New year, same topic. The future of short-term rentals in residential areas and mobile home communities will be discussed Monday by the Ocean City Council. Homeowner Chris Pilzer says he understands why short-term rentals have become a concern.
We have had some short-term renters that cause problems at times, noise violations, leaving debris.
The Ocean City Council recently extended its current moratorium, which restricts any new rental business licenses in those areas, to give officials more time to discuss possible regulations. On Monday, council members will consider 3 options: phasing out, freezing, or capping short-term rentals in residential areas and mobile home communities. Phasing out would eventually eliminate short-term rentals in these areas by ending licenses when properties are sold or not renewed. A freeze would lock in the current number of licenses with no new ones issued. And a cap would allow a limited number of additional licenses, something Pilzer believes is a fair compromise.
Short-term renters do cause problems at times, right? But I think capping it is a happy medium, and I think that would appease both sides and both parties.
But not everyone agrees with adding new restrictions. We spoke with other homeowners in the area who believe no additional regulations should be put in place for those short-term rentals in residential areas or mobile homes. They say that decision was already settled during July's special election. With multiple options still on the table, the final decision now rests with the council. I'm Kevin Zappe, Ocean City, CoastTV News.
A petition to reverse the current moratorium in Ocean City is underway. According to Realtor Terry Miller, they need a total of 991 signatures from registered voters whose primary residence is Ocean City before January 20th to begin the special election process. In July, homeowners had enough signatures for a special election, which reversed a length of stay requirement that was put in place by the town council, which would have required a 5-night minimum length of stay in residential areas and mobile homes and a 30-night minimum stay by the year 2027. That regulation is no longer in place. New in Millsboro, the newly appointed police chief, David Moyer, is stepping in with a vision rooted in community and experience. CoastTV's Nicole Richter shows us what drives the man behind the badge.
Chief David Moyer is stepping into his new role with 17 years of law enforcement behind him, an experience he says has shaped him not just as an officer, but as a person.
Looking at how I've progressed throughout my career and seeing how the training really does kick in, it reignites a passion in me as far as making sure that these guys are trained and properly prepared, because you never know when a traffic stop's going to turn into the worst day of your life.
Over the years, Moyer has served in a range of roles, from the Marines to patrol officer to detective, sergeant, and most recently as deputy chief.
It's very surreal. I remember sitting across the table from the chief at the time and telling him, or they asking me what I wanted to do with my career, and I'd say, I want to be chief of police one day. And to actually be sitting here right now, time is flown by.
He says each chapter of his career gave him a different perspective. Especially on the people and the communities he served.
I can work here and protect the people here that are close and near and dear to me. And I've really developed a relationship with Millsboro that's a big part of my heart.
His time in law enforcement brought him face to face with families in crisis, something that he says influences how he leads today.
When I see justice brought, or a victim come back one day and thank me for the help I gave them, that is what I do it for. You know, I'm not one to cry, but in those moments I will get choked up because it just shows that there is value to what we do here and we can make a difference.
Now, as he takes the helm here in Millsboro, Chief Moyer says that the town is more than just his beat. It's home.
I love Millsboro and it'll always have my heart. One day I'll be buried here.
For Chief Moyer, this badge represents more than a title. He says it represents the people he served over 17 years and the community he's now leading. In Millsboro, I'm Nicole Richter, Coast TV News.
A Sussex County Police Department wants to put more paws on its patrol. This is Laurel's veteran canine, Grim. The police chief there says Grim is nearing the end of his service and the department is in need of a new generation of dogs ready to work. The plan is to add 2 new canine partners to help when times matter most, but a big hurdle is the price tag. The department says it has raised about $27,000 of the roughly $80,000 to buy, train, and care for the dogs.
By expanding 2 canines, we can provide roughly twice the amount of coverage and cover all the shifts, which significantly improves our ability to go ahead and respond to violent incidents, runaway children, tracking fleeing suspects, locating weapons and drugs.
Delawareans may now file claims under the state's new paid leave program. Employers with 10 or more employees are required to provide up to 12 weeks of leave for a new child. Those with at least 25 employees must do the same and offer 6 weeks of paid leave every 2 years for an employee to care for a sick family member, recover from an illness, or handle a spouse's deployment. Employees get 80% of their weekly wages, capping at $900 per week. Delawareans we spoke with say it's a lifeline.
Never really know what could happen in life, and I just think that it's great to have more days for just in case anything does happen.
A similar program in Maryland starts in 2028. Previously, under your employer had their own version of paid leave. All that was legally required was to offer up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave under a federal law, FMLA. We have full details on the paid leave program right now on CoastTV.com. And this brings us to our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know, what kind of leave do you think you'll use most? Let's take a look at the updated results. So far, 72% of you say won't use, but 18% of you say caregiver leave, 5% for parental leave and medical leave. And if you haven't voted yet, you still can at CoastTV.com or on the mobile app. Zohran Mamdani was sworn in as New York City's new mayor. His campaign was centered on a promise to tackle the affordability crisis in one of America's most expensive cities. Mamdani was sworn in just after midnight during a private ceremony alongside his wife. The U.S. military has carried out 2 additional strikes against alleged drug boats. The U.S. Southern Command said in part, quote, "Intelligence confirmed the vessels were transiting along known narco trafficking routes and engaged in narco trafficking." The exact location of the strikes was not specified. Investigators in Switzerland have confirmed that 40 people were killed and around 115 people were injured in a fire at a bar in a Swiss Alps resort. Police called the fire during a New Year's Eve celebration an unprecedented tragedy. They do not have a cause yet, but police say they don't believe it was caused by an explosion. In Bethany Beach, 2026 started off strong with runners and walkers hitting the boardwalk for the annual Hair of the Dog run. Organizers say the run has become a New Year's Day tradition, bringing the community together while encouraging fitness and fun to start the new year.
It means just starting the year on the right foot, so I need to be healthier, I need to do more activity, and so I'm going to do a walk challenge myself for January to do a mile outside every day. I've done that to frozen feet, so it's a great way to start that process as well.
The run raises funds for local scholarships and grants that support programs throughout the community, which is organized by the Quiet Resorts Charitable Foundation. And the celebration continued as the Atlantic Ocean turned into the ultimate wake-up call. From first-timers to seasoned plungers, people ran straight for the water, all to start 2026 with a shock of cold.
It's just something out of the box to do, something crazy to do on New Year's Day, something just to kick off the new year.
But the plunge is doing more than just waking people up. They are helping raise thousands for local charities to start the year strong. And starting the new year with a splash in Ocean City, too. The 32nd annual Penguin Swim in Ocean City sent hundreds into the ocean to kick off the new year. Event organizers say more than 700 people signed up to take part in the tradition. Participants braved the freezing water, all while raising money to support Atlantic General Hospital.
We have someone that has come from Great Britain to swim. We have families that have done this every single year since it started, and they bring on the new kids that are born and they get dressed up. It's kind of become a family tradition as a way to kick off the new year.
And we're now taking a live look into Milford. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a look at our weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening to you, Emma. And right now we have cooler conditions that are prevailing for us. Now, the good news is the winds are backing down, but the bad news is the temperatures are also backing down as well, but like as in getting lower. That's not helping our comfort level up at all. At Milford, we're holding at 24 degrees right now as we speak. And to be quite honest, as you take a look outside, we're looking pretty clear, relatively light winds. Now that's actually going with clear skies and light winds. That's going to create a situation of radiational cooling that will occur, which is going to allow for the temperatures to fall or plummet even easier and more efficiently as far as that's concerned. We had some small craft advisories. They've been allowed to expire, so we're not under any advisory as of right now. But I advise you to be mindful of this cold we're talking about. By 9 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to drop down to 21 degrees. And this is the warmer of the mornings that we're going to have ahead of us for the next few days in a row. We're going to have temperatures dropping into the 19, 17, 16, and even 15 degree category in the early morning hours. So we've got to be mindful of that. We may have a little touch of a snow flurry or two trying to rear its head just briefly across portions of the Delmarva Peninsula, but that's not the big deal. The big deal and the big headline with the weather is still the wind chills, the unwelcome wind chills, and we'll talk more about that in your full forecast. So then back to you.
Thank you, Paul. And with that cold coming up, the Delaware Department of Health and Social Services are opening their buildings as warming stations. Several stations across all 3 Delaware counties will be open Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Sussex County, you can get inside and get warm at DHSS facilities in Georgetown, Laurel, or Seaford. At Tidal Health Hospital in Salisbury, the first baby of 2026 was born. Check this out. This is Spencer Morgan Stanley. He was born at 2:19 a.m. to first-time parents Megan and Ethan Stanley. And later after that, at Tidal Health in Seaford, the first baby of the new year there was born at 8:40 a.m. Her name is Kylan Amari Cannon, and that's her mom there, Zania Cannon. How cute. And we are just getting started here on Coast TV News at 11. Coming up later, First Day Hikes, the Cape Henlopen State Park event that kicked off the new year. But first, Thor the Mascot, a new program at Cape Henlopen High School, is spreading school spirit in secret. That's up next.
When you think of high school, what do you think of? Is it, the football games, maybe the school play? Maybe it's the mascot. This week, reporter Emma Aiken shows us how at one high school, secrets do make friends.
First, the pants, then the shoes, next, the top, gloves, and finally, the mask. For the first time in school history, someone, or multiple people, at Cape Henlopen High School are taking on a new face and a new name. The Anonymous Mascot program allows students to be in the limelight without people knowing who they are.
It makes it very exciting, and I'm happy that I'm a part of it, especially the first group doing it and being able to do so many wonderful events, especially with all the other people that are helping me.
You heard it from Thor the Viking themselves. This is a team effort to keep the mascot's identity hidden throughout the school year.
It's just many secrets you have to make on the spot to make it actually work, and no one finds out.
On this day, Thor spent time at the Special Olympics Delaware bocce tournament, getting the energy up. Waving to fans, high fives all around.
How you doing?
Giving hugs, taking pictures.
Yeah, Mikey, let's go, Mikey.
Dancing, even stopping by some classes.
My main goal is like get the energy up, interact mainly with like little kids, make sure they're happy, take photos with them, and then once I see people my age, I kind of like do the trendy things that kind of keep them excited and engaged with the mascot.
Who the mascot is remains a mystery, but the Vikings spirit, that's known throughout the whole building.
I'm excited to see people's reaction at the end of the year when they find out who they are.
For Coastal Connections, I'm Emma Aiken.
Winds are backing off, but hey, the chill is still very much in the air. In Lewis, we're at 23 degrees, and we're going to stay in the mid to low 20s for the rest of the night with partly to mostly cloudy skies in the Lewis area. Now, here's where we stand right now. Temperature-wise, we're at 21 in Redden and Harrington, 22 in Georgetown, Delmar, Gumboro, as well as Millsboro, and in Long Neck. Now, we're actually 10, 11, 12, even 13 degrees cooler now than we were 24 hours ago, so we're definitely feeling the chill in the air without the help of a whole lot of wind. So it feels every bit of the 21, 22, 23 and all that we're feeling right now. So the winds aren't necessarily making things worse because they backed off. And they backed off because we had some wind chills, so some wind advisories. They've now been allowed to expire. I thought they might be reinitiated, but that wasn't the case. And so now everything is clearing out. We have a few scattered clouds going up towards Newcastle. That's way up there, not bothering us. But we are expecting for Friday, we'll start off a bit on the cloudy side. And our initial model run was indicating we may see a couple of flurries push through. Now, this recent model run has backed off even that. So even our chances of a flurry or two have diminished even greatly more so. And the winds are still primarily pouring out of the north. By the time we get to Saturday, the winds will pick up a little more in the way of momentum, ever so slightly. And that's all the difference that we'll need and will make a difference in the comfort level tanking rather rapidly. And then we'll have the winds eventually shifting out of the south as we go into next week, which will warm us up. But for right now, we're still in the settle with all these temperatures and the wind conditions. Now we have zonal flow. That's usually when it goes from the west to the east directly. So we're looking at western flow. Temperature at 39 to 41 will be the range. We may get up to 43 in Chincoteague. But generally speaking, we're looking at winds out of the west and then turning out of the northwest. The wind chill, the wind chill, the wind chill. That's the big deal here. Because we're going to drop down to 21 by 9 o'clock and we'll stay at 22, 23 until about, let's say, lunchtime, bump up to 27 and jump right back down to 23, 22 degrees as far as the wind chill is concerned. The winds are going to be pushing it out of the west at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, 41 for the high in Lewis and Rehoboth. We're going to warm up to 41 in Easton, Federalsburg, and Cambridge. And we're looking at that same 41 degrees in Pocomoke City as well as Snow Hill. See, Friday, we'll start off cloudy. And by the afternoon, we'll stay cloudy. And then we'll start seeing those clouds begin to break up for us. But here's the big story. 15, that's what it's going to feel like on Saturday. 16 and 17, that's what it's going to feel like on Sunday. 15, 16, 17 on Monday. Then we'll start warming up a little more on Tuesday. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We're going to stay cold for the next 3 days, so just prepare for it.
Thank you, Paul. To kick off the new year, Cape and Lopin State Park stepped into 2026 with a breath of fresh air. Many people laced up their shoes for the park's first day walk along the beach, where participants learned about the area's rich history and what once stood along the shoreline. A new year means new laws going into effect around the country, affecting everything from people's paychecks to new restrictions on screen time for kids. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell has the breakdown.
This new year brings the force of new laws around the country shaping American life. Scrolling time for kids under new restrictions in Virginia.
They like to be on their tablets and watch TV and stuff, and I notice a difference when I limit that.
Starting today, social media companies are required to screen users by age and then cap Virginia kids under 16 at 1 hour a day for each service or platform. The new law facing skeptics.
Kids are not stupid. Kids are smart. They're going to get around this.
While some experts say limits are needed.
It's a digital highway without any seatbelts. Okay? So we really have to be intentional.
From social media to heated social issues, In North Carolina, a new law bars state funds for gender transition surgery and permits lawsuits against medical providers. Texas is blocking diversity, equity, and inclusion programs for public schools, kindergarten to 12th grade. In Washington, lawmakers boosted the state's minimum wage to more than $17 an hour. In fact, starting today, 19 states across the country will see minimum wage increases. And Delaware is starting a new program to permit incarcerated mothers to send breast milk to their babies through a designated caretaker.
Coming up, drinking alcohol, 5 health benefits of stopping the habit this month, and doing dry January.
And we're looking forward to continue to stay on the cold side of things. Bear in mind, hey, we're not warming up till next week. More on your forecast coming up.
It's a trend that continues to be popular for the new year. Dry January is a time when people start off the new year abstaining from alcohol. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the big benefits of participating.
It's a new year, and if you're hoping for a healthier start, experts say to try staying sober.
Dry January is a great opportunity to stop drinking or even reduce your drinking for the month.
Psychologist Katie Wickowitz with the University of New Mexico says abstaining from alcohol even for 4 weeks can make a big difference in your health. She says many people experience sleep improvements, increased energy, weight loss, greater physical activity, and improved well-being in general. But she says giving up those cocktails can be challenging.
Get your friends and family on board with doing it with you so that you have that social connection and that social support to get through the month.
Next, Wickowitz says to know your go-to non-alcoholic beverage, whether it's sparkling water, club soda with lemon, or a mocktail. That way it's easy to order when you're out, or you can stock your fridge at home. She says to also be aware of the hard times during dry January.
Times when it's challenging might be a great way to reflect on how we're actually maybe relying on alcohol more than we wanted to.
Finally, Wickowitz says if you have a slip up, don't let it derail you.
If you're trying dry January and you experience a time of drinking, it's totally fine to just start it back up again.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Here's a look ahead to an exciting 2026 with what promises to be some of the biggest events of the decade. NBC Sports' Maria Taylor and Steve Kornacki have everything you need to know.
Now it is time to look ahead because NBC's lineup in 2026 is gearing up to be fascinating and absolutely historic, and nowhere will that be more evident than in the world of sports. So NBC will bring you some of the biggest sporting events ever, from Super Bowl 60 to the World Cup and more. To help me break all of that action down, we bring in Steve Kornacki and, of course, the big board. Steve, shall we start with legendary February?
Yeah, Maria. I mean, I don't know about you. February is the shortest month on the calendar. It always feels the longest to me in the dead of winter. It's going to feel a little different in 2026. We're going to start Friday, February 6th. That's going to be the opening ceremonies for the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics. And while we're still absorbing all of that excitement, 48 hours later, we got Super Sunday, the Super Bowl 60 in the Bay Area, and they're still going to be giving out medals in Italy when a week later, on Sunday, February 15th, the All-Star Game, the NBA All-Star Game, different format this year, kind of Olympic themed, USA versus the world.
Yeah, it's following after the Milan Cortina Olympics. I love the idea. Let's get into the summer, though. There's plenty going on to start the year, but we're going to finish it well, too.
Well, July 4th, of course, marks the semi-quincentennial. I looked this one up. That's the 250th birthday of the United States of America. We are going to be televising. These are the tall ships. It's the biggest ever flotilla of tall ships coming into New York Harbor. Lady Liberty looking on my favorite tall ship, by the way, the Amerigo Vespucci from Italy.
That's my favorite too, Steve.
I think we both know one. It sounds like to continue celebrating America's birthday, July 5th, a Sunday. The national pastime, baseball's back on NBC. Every MLB game that day going to be on NBC or Peacock. And what else? What other big events going on in July?
No big deal. Something called the
World Cup. The U.S., Canada, Mexico are hosting July 19th. MetLife Stadium near New York will be the final. Big expectations for the good old USA in this one. Paraguay, Australia, the other teams in Group D. One European team. We still have to find out who it is. But the expectations are so high that one of the players for the U.S. says the goal is the semifinals. If the U.S. gets there, that's the deepest they've gone since 1930.
And that was the inaugural World Cup, Steve. So we'll see
Very
if they can
different.
pull it off this year. Thank you so much for breaking it down. And we hope you are looking forward to 2026 in the world of sports.
It's time to showcase how you're decorating your homes this holiday season. Tonight is our last holiday house picture of the season, and it is from Jeannie in Lewis. She says, courtyard snow scene, hoping for more in 2026. Thank you for sending us your picture, and thank you to everyone who sent in a sneak peek of their decorations this holiday season.
A quick look at your 10-day forecast. Listen, we're calling for big time cold Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. Be ready because the wind chill is going to fall into the teens. So brr with a capital B and a whole lot of R's.
Thank you, Paul. And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night and Happy New Year.